You read the title of this video correctly. I literally lost over $100,000 day trading, even though I'm an ex-institutional trader that has worked at some of the biggest banks in the world. Now, the problem with this is it could easily happen to anyone, including you. So let's break things down step by step, starting with what caused that loss, how you can avoid the same mistake, and finally, that one game-changing trick that turned my trading completely around. I'll also show you some live trading so you can see everything in action and actually implement it for yourself. Now, to understand what caused such a huge loss, we need to go back almost 20 years to my early days as a professional trader. Now, whilst I was told to do things in a certain way, which I will reveal shortly, I actually ended up doing the same things most retail traders do. I thought I knew better than much more experienced traders around me who told me quite clearly to avoid using retail trading methods such as trendlines, retracements, and other well-known retail tools. They clearly warned me to avoid using those tools, as those tools are nothing more than pseudoscience with no evidence whatsoever that they make any money. Now, I understand that is a difficult pill for you to swallow because that is 99% of what we are shown on social media. But the truth is, if you were being truly honest with yourself, the evidence of that stuff making any money simply does not exist. Now, I don't blame you because despite that, like every retail trader, I also ignored the obvious and started using these traditional techniques 20 years ago when I first started working on a professional trading floor. Now, most people don't know this, but I often did it in secret without telling anyone at the bank. I used to draw trend lines, draw the usual retracements on my charts, chuck on indicators, and even had the same supply-demand zones I see so many retail traders using till this day. I kept it a secret and would often have the chart minimized and only use it when no one was looking because I was a little embarrassed. I kind of knew deep down inside there was no long-term evidence available of any of this working, and as I mentioned before, the senior traders around me kept warning me not to touch this stuff. In fact, I clearly remember one very experienced trader telling me this stuff is the biggest pile of shit he had seen since his dog had sprayed diarrhea all over his living room floor. Now, admittedly, traders in banks have a way of exaggerating things, but I think you get the point. Nevertheless, despite all the warnings from traders making millions of dollars around me not doing that stuff, I carried on doing that stuff because, like most retail traders, I thought I knew better. Now, if I'm going to be brutally honest with you, the actual truth is I simply found it a lot easier to join up dots on my chart and to draw these silly little zones rather than actually doing the things I was told to spend time learning. I was told to spend time studying order flow, volume, transactions, buying and selling behavior between our customers, people like hedge funds, central banks, and other big players. But the truth is, that stuff scared me when I started and seemed like such a steep learning curve. So I allowed myself the comfort of the easy way out, joining up dots and drawing meaningless zones on my chart, the stuff any 5-year-old child could do. The result was that whilst I miraculously somehow did okay during the simulation or practice phase to convince them to let me trade real money, as soon as I went live, I was bleeding money all over the place as I never really had any confidence in what I was doing. I would have good days, but I'd be losing twice as much on my bad days. Now, over a period of about 12 months, I was down over $100,000 and was about to be moved into a completely different department that had nothing to do with trading. I was a failure. I have no shame in admitting that. Fortunately, knowing the end was in sight and in desperation, I went to my boss and I made a proposal. Take me completely off the live book for the next few months. I'll even take a pay cut if necessary, and just let me spend a few months immersing myself by shadowing a senior trader in a hands-off way and committing 100% to learning what the trading desk is actually doing. Now, volume or order flow 20 years ago was very different in the sense that you would have access in a bank to client transactional information because you would be talking to massive customers like central banks and hedge funds via salespeople. You could then get a good feel for the sentiment of the marketplace by what clients were doing and feeding back to you. For example, how were they positioning themselves? Were they getting squeezed or trapped, i.e. losing money, or were they gaining large profits? By learning to apply these things in my trading, I eventually managed to make a lot of money over the following years after my initial poor performance, and more than wiped out my early losses by incorporating the correct things into my decision making and dropping retail indicators and techniques entirely. Fast forward to today, fortunately for us, things have changed dramatically over the last 2 decades since I started, and client order flow is now available to 100% of traders, including retail traders, at your fingertips. You no longer need to work in a bank to see any of it. It's available to you at the click of a mouse in the form of exchange traded order flow. Now, last month, in just a single month, I personally made almost $40,000 as a private trader working from home, trading around 30 minutes a day. $36,275 to be exact. Every single live fill or trade I took was shown in my community, in our Discord channel. It's all openly available for all students to see. Now, to finish off this video, let me show you a live example of just one of these trades I took last month using order flow, volume, or client transactions. These all mean the same thing, so don't worry. You can use these words interchangeably. We're just looking at how buyers and sellers are interacting with each other, so we can take high probability trades based on that information. Same as any other business would. As I said, this is now all available at your fingertips. Very simple for anyone to use. You just need to know how, so let's do it. Now we have my actual chart here, an actual trade that I'm about to take. I'll show you this afterwards briefly on TradingView, a retail platform that you might be more familiar with, but let me just build it up on my own chart first. Now, customer order flow or client transactions come in many forms, including volume profile that you see here, very basic that I'll explain in a second, but you can also see buyer and seller interactions in things like the footprint that allows you to see deeper inside the candlestick at micro transactions. We'll talk about that in future videos. I just want to keep it very basic for now. The profile, as you can see here, just tells us where most of these actual client transactions or interactions have taken place without us having to employ guesswork. It gives us that accuracy which normal trading charts completely lack. You're totally guessing without it. Every time a buyer and seller interact or buy and sell from each other at a particular price, the profile gets larger. Now, unlike in the bank 20 years ago where I was having to keep track of these things very manually, it's now all given to you, accessible at your fingertips without you having to do anything. Crazy not to take advantage, so let's do that together. Now, one of the things I can do is mark or highlight the area very specifically where the transactions poked out a little bit. Can you see that here? All this is telling us is that a lot of people bought and sold to each other within this region. So would you agree it stands to reason that if we break out of this area, someone is going to be losing a lot of money and they are going to be forced to have to start offloading their positions. So let's see who that happens to, the buyers or the sellers. Now, whilst I was sleeping overnight, we can see the buyers completely lost this battle and the sellers took over. It therefore stands to reason that I am more likely to want to sell when I get to my trading desk. Can you see decisions that professional traders are taking have absolutely zero to do with retail trading analysis? They are approaching trading more seriously than that, like a business. They want to see where was the most inventory built up or vulnerability, because as soon as we come out of that area, someone is clearly going to be forced to take action. They have to be. You can't hold stock forever. And that action that is taken to get rid of that stock or accumulate more is what is going to move the market. Now, in this instance, buyers lost below this level, and that is what caused the market to drop so quickly as they got rid of their stock, creating momentum that I can take advantage of when I get to my trading desk. Now, Whilst you can ignore this additional piece of information I'm going to tell you, because it's not as important as transactions themselves, it is worth noting that we did have a very negative piece of news overnight, which didn't help matters for the buyers. Takes just 30 seconds for anyone to check that on a basic calendar and just helps us to complete the picture. Now, I won't go into heavy detail around the entries and exits. However, you can see I got short pretty quickly around the New York Open here in the S&P 500 and took just over $3,000. Now, this concept can be applied to any market. So whether you trade equities like this, commodities, or even Forex, you can apply the exact same concepts. Buyers and sellers are interacting in all markets after all. Finally, as promised, let me show you that you can even do this on a retail trading platform like TradingView. Can you see I've marked the exact same area, exact same profile, exact same result? Hopefully you can see that to stand any chance of making it in this business, you need to start upping your game and looking at how buyers and sellers, the very backbone of financial markets, are interacting with each other. So to really take you to the next level, check out this video here, which is going to build upon all the stuff we've been talking about today and give you the practical steps you need to bring this onto your charts.